2026 has just started, and again we're facing strike actions, this time from the National Association of Resident Doctors. And this isn't news to the health sector. This is something that's been going on since last year. And here's the kicker. It's not just doctors who are on strike. There's also Johesu and pharmacists also asking for better working conditions. Well, today on the program, the Registrar of the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria joins us for a health sector conversation on what the issues are and where we are with those negotiations. This is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I'm Kayla Megwa. Let's begin with some of the major stories this week from Nigeria's presidency. It's time for our Abuja Wrap.
President Bola Tinubu has directed the Minister of Defense, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Service Chiefs, the Inspector General of Police, and the Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, to track down and apprehend the perpetrators of the PCON Daji attack, ensuring they are swiftly brought to justice. He also directed security agencies to rescue all the abducted victims urgently. According to the statement by the Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, President Tinubu issued the directives on Sunday in response to the recent killings of villagers in Niger State by terrorists suspected to be fleeing from Sokoto and Zamfara following the United States airstrike on Christmas Eve. The president strongly condemned the attack on the PCON Daji community and the abduction of women and children. He sent his heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims, as well as to the government and people of Niger State. He said, quote, "These terrorists have tested the resolve of our country and its people. They must, therefore, face the full consequences of their criminal actions. No matter who they are or what their intent is, they must be hunted down. They and all those who aid, abet, or enable them in any form will be caught and brought to justice." End of quote, the president declared. He urged Nigerians to remain united and resolute in the face of this tragedy and cautioned against divisive rhetoric that could undermine national security and cohesion during this challenging period. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Dr. Olugbemisola Titilayo Dushote as the Director General of the Nigerian Law School. The appointment takes effect on January 10, 2026 for a 4-year term, with the tenure of the current Director General, Professor Isa Hayatu Chiroma, expiring on January 9, 2026, after 8 years of service. Dr. Dushote is currently the Deputy Director General and head of the Lagos campus and will become the first woman to lead the institution since its establishment in 1962. As Director General, Dr. Dushote will be responsible for the institution's overall academic leadership, administrative management, and strategic direction across all campuses. President Bola Tinubu has praised corporate Nigeria, citizens, and other stakeholders in the Nigerian capital market for surpassing the 100 trillion naira milestone on the Nigerian exchange. According to the statement from the presidency, President Tinubu described the record achievement as an inspiration for the investing public operating in the money and capital markets. He urged Nigerians to deepen their investments in the local economy, assuring that 2026 will yield even greater returns as his administration's economic reforms continue to deliver stronger outcomes. He said, quote, "With the Nigerian exchange crossing the historic 100 trillion naira market capitalization mark, the country is witnessing the birth of a new economic reality and rejuvenation. Nigeria is no longer a frontier market to be ignored. It is now a compelling destination where value is being discovered. As the stock market reflects the entire economy, its stellar performance is a significant indicator of the country's economic health and the confidence investors have in our economy. We are not celebrating the superlative stock market performance in isolation. We're also celebrating the macroeconomic effects of our reforms after the initial headwinds that followed our reforms. We are finally seeing a bend in the inflation curve. Indeed, inflation is likely to fall below 10% before the end of this year, leading to improved living standards and accelerated GDP growth. The year 2026 promises to be an epochal year for delivering prosperity to all Nigerians.
Welcome back. The National Association of Resident Doctors are saying they have to go on strike again. And they're saying it's because they ask for something, those things are approved, but none of those things are delivered. And they're asking that the federal government be more serious when it comes to health sector reforms, much needed health sector reforms. Well, the Registrar of the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria joins us tonight for a conversation on health sector issues in the country and what can be done to ensure that this sector doesn't collapse in 2026. He also tells us what the council is going to be doing this year when it comes to new laws and ensuring that people meet up with internationally set standards when it comes to handling medications in Nigeria. Please watch this. Registrar Ibrahim Ahmed, welcome to Dateline Abuja.
Thank you very much, Kayla.
It's good to have you on the program. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
Let's start with the biggest story in the health sector, which is this strike by the National Association of Resident Doctors. The impact, and this has been happening since last year, and then we're entering the new year, disruptions in healthcare delivery again. What does the Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria have to say about this, and does it impact your activities in any way?
Certainly we feel concerned because as health professionals, we all took oath to ensure that we have uppermost in our dealings the well-being and welfare of our patients. So anytime we have issues of disruptions by way of strike, it causes a lot of concern. And I hope you're also aware that apart from the impending strike by the resident doctors, the JOESU, which is another arm of a labor union or group of professionals within the health sector, have also been on strike for a period of weeks now, since last year and now into the new year. What all this means is that we are bringing the health sector, service delivery to a halt. And I think that is not too good for the country. I'm happy the Association of Chief Medical Directors and Medical Directors have appealed to all the unions to please reconsider their positions, go into dialogue, and I've also encouraged government to also open up with respect to engagement. I look forward to a situation where we'll be able to have a very good, stable, strike-free health sector. It doesn't used to be like this. We only found ourselves in this situation, and I'm sure it will come and pass as well. I think what is most important is we look at the patients, first and foremost. If we remember the oath that we all took, and we align ourselves with the ethics, the callings of each of us as professionals, I'm sure we can do better than we are doing.
I had a conversation with the chair for the resident doctors in Abuja, Dr. George Ibong, I think that's his name. And I brought up this issue of the oath. You know, how do you go on strike when people are sick? You know, just as someone who, you know, this is people's life. People are going to die because you're on strike, you know? And when I asked him, you know, if it disturbed his conscience in any way, he gave me a response, and I want to get your take on that response. He said, we are a danger to our patients right now. A doctor that is not paid well. A doctor that is overworked. A lot of doctors right now, he said a lot of them are even taking drugs right now so that they can function. So that promise of care to the patient, that they can't deliver that as long as they are not doing well themselves. So telling, if you feel like going on strike is a danger to the patient, working for the patient is even a bigger danger, because he says we are not mentally in the right place to take care of anyone. What do you think about that?
Well, like I said, healthcare service delivery did not start today. If we are looking at the conditions we are operating in, it also didn't start today. Our reaction to the system perhaps is what has changed. And that is perhaps where we need to look at where are we coming from. That is very important. perhaps we need to look at issues more beyond maybe our emotions, again, more towards the ethics. Look at what is obtainable in other climes. And I can assure you, if we open up, we will definitely have reasons to increase our tolerance. We will have reason to engage more in dialogue. We will have reasons to be more constructive in engagement. We will have reason to see the need to actually underplay certain things and ensure that if we do, I can assure you, we will definitely have a better system.
Before we go on a short break, the last time we spoke, I spoke with you was on our sister program, Daily. And I remember then you said you were going to be shutting down pharmacies in markets.
Yes.
How did that do, that particular exercise?
Thank you very much. You know, when we did the surveillance, what we found out was there was no drug shop in the market, in Garki market. But we discovered a particular premises operating outside the market, but its signboard is within the market. So we issued compliance directive for that signpost to be moved out of the market. Yes, we found a few people hawking drugs within the market. And of course, that force was in the jurisdiction of the Federal Task Force, which the PCN is also a member, but which the Secretariat is situated in NAFDAC. We have also taken up that. Incidentally, the person who led the team on that surveillance is a member of the Federal Task Force and is also the head of the Department of Enforcement in PCN. So he will take it further from there.
Yeah, for those who probably didn't watch first conversation.
Yes.
The premise of this is the fact that there aren't supposed to be any drugs being sold in any market in the country.
Yes.
So for those, so for people who have been buying all kinds of drugs from, and when we say drug, we're not even talking about narcotics, we're talking about regular medicine.
Including over-the-counter medicine.
That's the simplest. It's not supposed to be sold in the any market,
not at all,
in this country.
Not at all.
Why though? Why is that? Why does that rule exist?
It exists because the market does not provide the right environment, the right condition, the right situation where drugs are supposed, in which drugs are supposed to be kept, in which drugs are supposed to be stored, in which drugs are supposed to be preserved. I mean, you can't control the temperature within that environment. It's a clustered environment where anything goes on. It's an environment where the weather itself, you cannot control the sun. So everything about the market is not right for the storage, for the handling, and for the distribution of medicine. And it's not just in Nigeria now. I'm sure there is no place you go anywhere in the world where you see medicines are being sold in the market. It's not the right place to sell medicine.
You just reminded me of how we had to look for a pharmacy in one country. We spent hours looking for a pharmacy, and I kept wondering, why are there no pharmacies on the street? Because in Nigeria, once you see the cross, you know there's a pharmacy here.
Yes.
But, and it was an African country. We looked for a pharmacy for hours.
Yes.
Then they told us that there's a special district for pharmacies.
Yes.
I had to ask the pharmacist, I was like, how does this work?
Yeah.
He said, well, power supply here is different.
Yeah.
We have to have storage facilities. There are standards that we have to meet up with. So they gave us a zone where pharmacies can thrive.
Where the conditions are right.
Conditions are right for it. Do we have that in Abuja? A zone where pharmacies can, thrive and meet up with international best standards when it comes to storage of medicine?
Well, let me say largely, you will agree with me that we pride ourselves as giant of Africa, and that is Nigeria. It is good to note the fact that we do not have that situation here, particularly within the FCT and in many states of the country, where you can say you don't have power supply, you don't have certain basic requirements. Because even if you do not have, we have opportunities to provide alternatives, either by way of generator, by way of solar. I think we have gone past that in Nigeria. And because of that, I can assure you that we have premises duly registered under well laid out conditions. And you can find them in every nook and cranny, especially within the FCT. One thing about FCT, and which of course is synonymous with Lagos, is the fact that there is no state in Nigeria other than Lagos and FCT where you have at least each local government having at least one pharmacy. There is none. Each local government or area council have at least one pharmacy, just like you have it in Lagos. There is no any other state in Nigeria where you have that. So we are very concerned. We are also mindful of the distribution of these facilities, and we follow through each of these facilities to ensure that they actually meet up with the minimum requirements for their operations.
We'll go on a short break.
Okay.
When we come back,
okay,
we'll be looking at some of the enforcement exercises I know you have going on this year.
Yeah.
Please stay with us on Dateline Abuja. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Dateline Abuja. If you've just joined us, the Registrar of the Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria, pharmacist Ibrahim Ahmed, joins us tonight on Dateline Abuja. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much, Kayla.
So let's talk about 2026.
Yeah.
What's the plan? Apart from, is it raiding? You're raiding places again?
Certainly.
Okay, so what's happening? Where are we focusing on this year?
Well, I won't be able to say that on air.
So they don't run away.
But I can assure you, we already have lined up states that we are going. Last year, we went to 8 states. Certainly, we want to go to many more states this year. We're really going to increase our enforcement drive.
For the people who sell these drugs and don't meet up with the standards set by the PCON, and feel like you're just removing people's livelihoods, you're taking food away from their mouths. You know, because that's what happens in many of these places when you catch them. We have so many videos of you and your team doing this.
Yes.
What do you say to those people?
Okay.
Because they say, look, I didn't commit a crime. All I'm doing is selling medicine.
Okay.
I probably have a little bit of knowledge about medicine and I want to help my community.
Yeah.
So what do you say? What do you say to people like that?
Well, let me put it rightly and directly. Medicines are not articles of trade. Medicines are specialized commodities, health commodities, which are meant to either use for diagnosis, for prevention of diseases, or for treatment. So they are critical commodities with very stringent processes of production, very stringent processes of handling, storage, usage, with very well laid out, clear conditions in terms of outcome, expected outcomes they are supposed to produce. I mean, I can take food today and perhaps have diarrhea, maybe because the process it was produced. The chances that I'll hold the person who prepared it accountable or take the person to court is not as strong as the reaction you expect when somebody takes a drug and have an adverse effect. Because everything about it, from the point of production to the point of handling, distribution, and use, comes with high level of responsibility. So they are not articles of trade that people think you just go into. Anywhere in the world, the person involved in the sale or in the person involved in the handling must also be somebody that have requisite, do I say expertise or requisite knowledge?
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because when we go to some pharmacies, there'll be someone at the counter.
Yeah.
But then Well, at least for some of us,
Yeah.
we only go to the pharmacy when the hospital doesn't have the drug
Yes.
that we need.
Yeah.
But there are people who self-medicate. You know, they go to the pharmacy, oh, I want to buy it, and they don't have any doctor's prescription with them, but they still sell to them over the counter in this country. It doesn't happen outside this country. In developed parts of the world, they can't sell you something without a doctor's prescription, so that you don't go and resell or adulterate or whatever. You know? So I want to speak to that, the fact that we can buy medicine in this country from pharmacies without a doctor's prescription. And then secondly, sometimes when you go to a pharmacy, there's someone selling to you, but he's not a pharmacist. Sometimes you'll be trying to explain to him, oh, I can't take this particular medication because I have an allergy to the thing. It has steroids. I'm allergic to steroids personally. So I can't take steroids. Look at what the issue is. And you say, sorry, let me go and get the pharmacist for you. Why does that dynamic exist where someone who's not a pharmacist is dispensing medicine? Only when the questions become a little harder, he says, let me go and get the pharmacist in the back. Well, what is the Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria doing about that? And is this allowed?
Okay. There is one person exclusively having the responsibility for the handling, for the distribution, for the dispensing of that medicine, and that is the pharmacist. The role of the medical doctor is that of diagnosis and that of the prescription. The system so far is not aligning itself with standard procedure for prescription and dispensing of medicines in this country. And I'm pleased to inform you that under the current leadership, a national prescription and dispensing policy is being developed. In fact, it's even been concluded. And every stakeholder is part of it. I want to use this opportunity to plead to our conscience as professionals. Allow that policy, which has now been completed, to be launched, to be operationalized. Within the within the pharmacy workforce, you have the pharmacists, you have the pharmacy technicians. The pharmacy technicians are sub-cadre pharmacy professionals who work under direct supervision of a pharmacist. There are certain things they do. They can be involved in pre-packing of medicines. They can also be involved in, even apart from pre-packing, packaging medicines, whereas the pharmacy now takes further from there in terms of counseling and what have you. So when you go to the counter, the fact that you don't see a pharmacist, you could see the pharmacy technician right in front there. These are people that are not just novice. They have some level of training. And of course, they are trained by pharmacists. They are also duly certified. They also have what you call registration with the Pharmacy Council. And the Pharmacy Council also issued an annual permit on annual basis. That permit, of course, grants them the opportunity or the authority to undertake certain responsibility within the pharmacy workspace in terms of handling of medicine, distribution of medicine, and of course, packaging of medicine.
Where are we when it comes to stopping the proliferation of fake drugs in Nigeria?
Well,
because it feels like almost every quarter we hear about, oh, there's this drug, there's the fake one now, don't go and buy this one.
Yes.
We saw that, I'm not going to say the name of the particular medication, but we saw that during the Yuletide.
You are right.
So where are we with the prosecution of people who do this to our people?
If you ask a pharmacist, maybe who has graduated some 30, 40 years ago, he will tell you that since he graduated, he's been hearing one word, which looks like a common word, or a word that nobody knows if it will ever go away because it's a problem: chaotic drug distribution system. We have a system in our country where the drug distribution system is not right. You and I cannot sit down here now as we are sitting and clearly put it or beat our chest and say that you move from here to a particular location in this country and say that every facility you see selling medicine is duly registered. What that means is that we have a system, and these are opportunities where that gives room for people, for drugs that are not genuine, are falsified to be sold, because you have people that are not under the purview of regulation.
Chaotic drug distribution
system. In fact, let me tell you that today, that is why I can tell you categorically, I can mention states that we have gone last year. I can categorically tell you premises that we have eliminated, and they are never going to come back again, because we have our eyes on those things, on those places. We have a new law, the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria Act 2022, that has put everybody involved in the handling of medicine, in the distribution of medicine, exclusively under the authority of the Pharmacy Council. What that means is that what was happening in the past, where people think, I'm not mentioning the law, or I'm not under the purview of the Pharmacy Council, is gone. From manufacturer, down to importer, down to distributors, down to wholesalers, down to the PPMVs, down to people who are selling drugs online, down to hospital pharmacies. If you must have a hospital pharmacy, if you must keep medicines in the hospitals, those hospitals must have a duly registered pharmacy department under the supervision of a pharmacist. This has become a law.
Okay. And
this must be enforced to the letter. That I can assure you.
All right. Well, it looks like 2026 is going to be very busy.
Very, very.
Very busy.
And we are prepared for that.
Right,
and we appreciate the government for the support.
We'll be keeping tabs on you.
Thank you very much.
Media,
thank you very much.
To make sure that all the things that you're promising will be done. But I have to thank you so much,
Thank you very much, Kayla,
for being with us on the program. And good luck with all you have to do.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate you. Channel is doing great.
Thanks to my guest and to everyone who spoke to us today on the program. Please let us know the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screens. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kayla Megwa. See you next time.